Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
Russia launches a massive attack on Ukraine. Trump signs executive orders to overhaul education. The EU attacks American tech companies, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Russia attacked Kiev with an hours-long barrage of missiles and drones, killing at least 9 people and injuring more than 70 in its deadliest assault on the Ukrainian capital since last July, and just as peace efforts are coming to a head. Ukrainian President Zelensky said after the attack he is cutting short his official trip to South Africa and returning home as the city reeled from the bombardment that kept residents on edge for about 11 hours. It appeared to be Russia's biggest attack on Kiev in 9 months. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko announced that Friday would be an official day of mourning in the capital. Zelensky said that the attack on Kiev by Russia was one of the most outrageous and that preliminary information indicated more than 250 drones and ballistic missiles were involved in the attack that targeted civilians. The Ukrainian leader also said he was committed to a peace deal with Russia, but the latest attack meant the future of negotiations depends on Russia's intention because it is in Moscow where they have to make a decision. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas demanded Hamas disarm, relinquish power, and release the hostages. The Palestinian leader claimed that the hostages were an excuse for Israel to continue the war and that by letting the hostages go, Hamas would shut down that excuse. Despite the fact that Hamas began the war with the terror group's massacre on October 7, 2023, Abbas claimed that the first priority is to stop the war of extermination in Gaza. It must be stopped. Hundreds are being killed every day. Why don't you hand over the hostages? The Palestinian Authority president also apparently called Hamas sons of dogs during his address. In a win for the Trump administration, the U.S. Court of International Trade rejected a request from a group of small businesses to immediately halt President Trump's sweeping tariffs from taking force. Judges on the 3-member panel for the U.S. Court of International Trade ruled that the plaintiffs failed to show a likelihood that they would suffer immediate and irreparable harm as a result of the tariffs, the standard courts require to grant a temporary restraining order. The decision from the U.S. Trade Court leaves in place Trump's sweeping tariff plan, while plaintiffs' broader request for injunctive relief continues to play out in court. President Trump signed executive orders to overhaul and modernize the American education system. The orders will cut off federal funding to colleges and universities that fail to disclose their sources of foreign money, issued new federal guidelines on school discipline, carve out new training for American students on artificial intelligence, update federal workforce programs, and launch a new White House initiative benefiting historically black colleges and universities. At least $60 billion in foreign funds have flowed to American universities in recent decades, according to a report published in March by the group Americans for Public Trust, with elite schools like Harvard, Cornell, and the University of Pennsylvania among the top recipients. Much of the money comes from wealthy Middle Eastern countries and China. The European Union slapped Apple and Meta with a combined €700 million fine, the equivalent of $798 million, for allegedly running afoul of the bloc's new stringent antitrust rules aimed at curbing American technology businesses. Apple was fined $570 million, and Meta was told to pay $230 million for breaking the EU's Digital Markets Act. The numbers were lower than expected, however, as the EU tries to avoid ratcheting up trade tensions with President Trump, who has criticized its treatment of U.S. tech companies. However, Meta hit back at the fine, calling the EU's rules a multi-billion-dollar tariff and an attempt to handicap successful American businesses. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.